The wife drew blood from her body and spilled it on the floor. She spread the blood with her hand, creating the appearance of dragging marks. Then she wiped it off with tissues and dripped a few drops of blood on the cabinet. The wife then found an iron rod, dipped one end of it in blood, hid it in the fireplace, covered it with charcoal, and lit a fire to fake destroying the weapon. Next, she overturned the table to simulate a scene of a fight, and then left with a sense of nonchalance. When the husband returned home, he found the house empty and the coffee table overturned. Suspecting abduction, he called the police. The police collected evidence at home. They discovered the wife's blood on the cabinet, and the wiped-off blood on the floor under fluorescence. The police also found that the man had a large amount of debt and had recently increased his wife's insurance. The police suspected that the husband was the murderer. At the press conference the husband held to clear himself, a woman claimed his wife was pregnant. The husband fled the press conference in embarrassment. When facing the police, the husband told the police he didn't know about the pregnancy, yet hospital records proved otherwise. He denied knowing the woman at the press conference, but the police showed a photo of her with his wife. After that, the police found a partially burned diary in the closet. The diary documented the husband's domestic violence and the wife's suspicion that she would disappear. All the evidence seemed to point to the husband, but in fact, all of this was fabricated by the wife. She used her husband's credit card to buy luxury goods and hid them in a small house. She also bought a high-value insurance policy for herself and got her husband to sign it unawares. She hit herself in the eye with a stick to fake domestic abuse. She deliberately befriended a pregnant neighbor, invited her to her home, and then took the neighbor's urine to fake her own pregnancy. And the diary was also made up by the wife. The wife did all these things because after getting married, her husband was lazy, spent money extravagantly, and even had an affair. After leaving, the wife cut off her long hair, dyed it brown, and put on plain clothes. But unfortunately, she dropped her wallet, and a malicious neighbor saw it and robbed all her money. The wife had no choice but to turn to her ex-boyfriend. Faking escape from domestic abuse, the ex-boyfriend let her into his villa and bought her various luxury items. However, the ex-boyfriend installed a lot of cameras and confided her to the villa. After the ex-boyfriend left, she pretended to be in pain in front of the cameras, faking a miscarriage due to abuse. Then she tied ropes around her wrists to create fake bondage marks. When the ex-boyfriend came back, she deliberately approached him and slit his throat quietly. The next day, the wife went home and told the police the ex-boyfriend had kidnapped and abused her in the villa, using the surveillance records as evidence.